The pastel blue decorations hung from every corner of the country club ballroom. My sister Jennifer sat in the center, one hand on her pregnant belly, accepting gifts from relatives and friends. I'd arrived with my son Marcus, 23 years old and quiet as always, carrying the gift we'd carefully selected. "Oh, look who decided to show up," Jennifer announced loudly as we approached. Several heads turned. My sister and her, well, Marcus. Marcus set the gift on the table with the others. "Congratulations, Aunt Jennifer. I'm happy for you." "How sweet," she said, her voice dripping with something that wasn't quite warmth. "Though I have to say I'm surprised you came. Baby showers aren't really your scene, are they?" I felt the familiar tension building in my shoulders. "We wouldn't miss it." "Of course not," Jennifer's friend Amanda chimed in from the next table. "Family is family, right?" The gift opening began shortly after. Jennifer made a show of each present, gushing over tiny clothes and stuffed animals. When she reached ours, a comprehensive collection of educational toys we'd researched for weeks, she held up each item with a puzzled expression. "These are interesting choices," she said, examining a set of sensory blocks. "Very practical. Not exactly fun but practical. They're designed for early childhood development," Marcus explained quietly. "The textures help with—" "Oh, Marcus knows all about child development now," Jennifer interrupted and several people laughed. "Did you take one online course or something?" Marcus's jaw tightened slightly but he said nothing. My mother leaned over from her seat. "Jennifer, that's enough." "What?" "I'm just making conversation." Jennifer set the toys aside and reached for the next gift. "It's adorable that Marcus thinks he understands children. Really it is." I watched my son's face remain carefully neutral, the same expression he wore when trying not to show hurt. He'd perfected that look over years of family gatherings. The shower continued with games and cake. During the diaper-changing relay race, Jennifer made sure everyone knew Marcus wasn't participating. "We need people who actually know what they're doing," she announced cheerfully. "No offense, Marcus, but this requires a certain touch." "None taken," Marcus replied, staying in his seat. I started to stand but my husband David put a hand on my arm. "Not worth it," he whispered. Later, as people mingled around the dessert table, I overheard Jennifer talking to a group of her friends. "The thing about Marcus is he's just not natural with kids," she was saying. "Some people have it, some don't. He definitely doesn't." "That's not true," I said, stepping into their circle. "Marcus volunteers at Little Steps Daycare every week. He's been doing it for 2 years. Jennifer waved a dismissive hand. "Volunteering isn't the same as actually being good with children. I'm sure he means well, but come on. You've seen him at family events. He barely interacts with my kids." "Because you don't let him," I said, my voice rising slightly. "I don't let him because I know my children," Jennifer shot back. "They need someone energetic, someone who gets down on their level. Marcus just sits there." Amanda nodded sympathetically. "Some people are just better with adults." Marcus had been standing near the punch bowl, close enough to hear everything. His face had gone carefully blank again. "Marcus is great with children," I insisted. "Your kids specifically ask for him when they need help with homework." "That's different. That's academic. I'm talking about actual childcare, bonding, that sort of thing." Jennifer patted her belly. "When this little one arrives, I'll need people around who really understand children. People with natural ability." "Jennifer." "It's fine, Mom," Marcus said quietly, though his hands were clenched at his sides. "She's entitled to her opinion." "See? Even he knows I'm right," Jennifer said, smiling at her friends. The afternoon dragged on. Every few minutes brought a new comment, a new dig disguised as concern or observation. When Marcus tried to pick up Jennifer's 4-year-old daughter, Emma, after she fell and scraped her knee, Jennifer swooped in immediately. "I've got her, Marcus. Thanks anyway." "He was just trying to help," I said. "I know, and it's sweet, but Emma needs someone who knows how to handle these situations." Jennifer carried her daughter away, leaving Marcus standing there with his hands empty. David pulled me aside. "We should probably go soon. Before you say something you'll regret." "Before I say something I'll regret? What about everything she's been saying?" "I know, but you know how these family things go. It's better to just..." "Just what?" "Let her keep humiliating our son." Marcus appeared beside us. Can we go? Please. The defeat in his voice broke something in me. But before I could respond, Jennifer's voice rang out across the room. Everyone. Time for one more game before we wrap up. I need all the parents to gather around. She explained the rules of a trivia game about child rearing, questions about developmental milestones, first aid, nutrition. Things any involved parent would know. Marcus, you should sit this one out, Jennifer said sweetly. This is really for people with hands-on experience. He has hands-on experience, I said firmly. He volunteers. At a daycare, yes, you mentioned that. But that's not the same as real parenting experience, is it? The room had gone quiet, everyone watching the exchange. Your son will never be good with children, Jennifer said, and though her tone was light, the words landed like stones. He's too rigid, too awkward. Children need warmth and spontaneity. They need someone who gets them. She looked around at the assembled guests. I mean, look at him. Can you honestly imagine Marcus changing diapers at 2 a.m? Soothing a crying baby? Playing peekaboo? Marcus stood there, his face pale. A few people laughed uncomfortably. That's enough, I said, but my voice came out weak. I'm not trying to be mean, Jennifer continued. I'm being honest. Some people are cut out for working with children and some aren't. Marcus is smart, sure, but that's not the same thing. My kids need babysitters who actually connect with them, not someone who's just going through the motions. Weird, I heard myself say, my voice suddenly steady and cold. That's weird, since your kids literally beg for him to babysit them. Jennifer's face changed. What? Em and Jake. They ask for Uncle Marcus specifically. Remember last month when you called me, desperate for a sitter because your regular one canceled? Emma cried when you said Marcus couldn't do it. That's not. And the month before that, when Jake had nightmares and wouldn't sleep. You called Marcus at 11 at night because Jake would only calm down talking to him on the phone. Jennifer's friends were watching her now, confused. My mother touched my arm. Not here, she whispered urgently. Please, not here. But something had snapped. Years of watching my son diminished, dismissed, treated as less than. Years of keeping quiet for the sake of family peace. Do you want to know why Emma asks for Marcus? I continued, my voice carrying across the silent room. Because he's the only one who listens when she talks about her imaginary friend. He built her a whole cardboard castle for that friend to live in. He spent 6 hours on it. I didn't know that, Jennifer said quietly. And Jake? Marcus taught him to read before kindergarten. Not because you asked, but because Jake was frustrated and Marcus noticed. He went out and bought special books with his own money. He spent every Saturday morning for 3 months working with him. Marcus put a hand on my shoulder. Mom, stop. No, I said, shaking him off gently. I'm not stopping. Not this time. I turned back to Jennifer, whose pregnant glow had faded to an uncomfortable flush. You want to talk about who's good with children? Marcus volunteers 20 hours a week at Little Steps. Not because it looks good on a resume. Not because he's trying to prove something. Because he loves it. The director told me they've never had a volunteer so dedicated. Parents request him specifically for their kids. I'm sure that's lovely, but... Last week, a little boy with autism who hadn't spoken in months said his first word to Marcus. The parents cried. They sent Marcus a card thanking him for his patience and understanding. The room was absolutely silent now. Your son will never be good with children, I repeated Jennifer's words back to her. That's what you said. In front of all these people. About a young man who gives up his weekends to help children learn and grow. Who studies child psychology in his spare time because he wants to be better at connecting with them. Who has a waiting list of parents wanting him to tutor their kids. Jennifer's hand trembled slightly on her water glass. I didn't mean. You did mean it. You've always meant it. Every family gathering, every holiday, every chance you get to make him feel small. I felt tears burning in my eyes but refused to let them fall. He's too polite to defend himself, so he just takes it. But I'm done watching. This is my baby shower, Jennifer said, her voice breaking slightly. You're ruining my baby shower. No, I said quietly. You did that when you decided to humiliate my son in front of everyone. Amanda stood up. Maybe we should all just calm down and... Sit down, Amanda, I said, not taking my eyes off Jennifer. You don't get to play peacemaker after you laughed along with every cruel thing she said. My mother tried again. Please, can we just? Mom, you know what Marcus does every Sunday? He calls Emma and Jake and does video chat story time with them. Their favorite part of the week. Did you know that, Jennifer? Did you know your kids count down the days until Uncle Marcus calls? Jennifer's eyes were filling with tears now. Stop. Why? Because it's uncomfortable? Because you're realizing that maybe you've been wrong about him this whole time. Marcus tugged at my arm more insistently. Mom, please. I just want to go. I looked at my son, saw the mixture of embarrassment and relief on his face, and felt my anger deflate slightly. You're right, I said to him, then looked back at Jennifer. We're leaving. Enjoy your shower. As we walked toward the exit, the room remained silent. No one said goodbye. No one tried to stop us. In the parking lot, Marcus let out a long breath. You didn't have to do that. Yes, I said firmly. I did. She's going to be even worse now. Let her. I'm done pretending her behavior is acceptable for the sake of family harmony. David unlocked the car. Well, that was certainly something. My phone buzzed. A text from my mother. Was that really necessary? I typed back, yes. Another buzz. This time from Jennifer. I think you owe me an apology. I stared at the message for a long moment, then typed, I think you owe Marcus about 23 years worth of apologies. But I'm not holding my breath. As we drove away, Marcus was quiet in the back seat. Finally he spoke. Thanks, Mom. Always, I said, meeting his eyes in the rearview mirror. Always. My phone kept buzzing with messages from family members. I turned it off. Whatever fallout was coming, it was worth it. I'd finally stopped protecting my sister's feelings and started protecting my son's dignity. It was long overdue. The next morning, my phone had 37 missed calls and twice as many text messages. Most were from family members expressing shock, disappointment, or anger at my outburst. A few, surprisingly, were supportive. My cousin texted, about time someone said something. Marcus is a sweetheart. Jennifer's message simply said, you've made family gatherings impossible now. I hope you're happy. I replied, you made them impossible for Marcus years ago. I just finally noticed. She didn't respond. 3 days later, Emma called our house phone. Can Uncle Marcus come over? Mommy says no, but I miss him. My heart broke a little. Let me talk to your mommy, sweetie. But Jennifer had already taken the phone. Stop turning my children against me. I'm not doing anything, I said calmly. Emma called here herself. Because you put ideas in her head at the shower. I told the truth. If that's uncomfortable for you, maybe examine why. She hung up. A week passed. Then the family group chat that I'd been removed from apparently discussed nothing but my terrible behavior and poor Marcus, caught in the middle of his mother's dramatics. Then my mother called. Jennifer wants to talk. Then she can call me herself. She's struggling. The shower really upset her. Good, I said and meant it. That's not very charitable. Neither is spending years belittling your nephew. My mother sighed. She wants to apologize to Marcus. Will you let her? That's Marcus's decision, not mine. I asked him that evening. He thought about it for a long time. Okay, he finally said. But only if she means it. No more fake apologies just to keep the peace. Deal. Jennifer came over the following Sunday. She looked tired, her pregnancy making her movements slow and careful. Marcus sat across from her at our kitchen table. I'm sorry, she said quietly. I've been terrible to you. For a long time. Marcus nodded, waiting. I think, she paused, choosing her words carefully. I think I was jealous. Of how easy it seems for you. How much my kids love you. It's not easy, Marcus said. I work at it. A lot. I know. I see that now. She wiped her eyes. Emma won't stop talking about the castle you built. I never knew about that. You never asked. The simple statement hung in the air. You're right, Jennifer said. I never asked. I just assumed. And I was wrong. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't complete absolution. But it was a start. As Jennifer left, she turned back. When the baby comes, would you want to help sometimes? If you're not too busy. Marcus smiled, genuine and warm. I'd like that. After she drove away, I asked Marcus how he felt. Tired, he admitted. But good, I think. Maybe things can be different now. Maybe, I agreed. My phone buzzed one more time. Jennifer, thank you for finally telling me the truth. Even if it hurt. I looked at my son, thought about all the years of hurt he'd quietly endured, and typed back. He deserved someone to defend him. I should have done it sooner. Her response came quickly. Better late than never. Maybe she was right. Maybe it was better late than never. But as I watched Marcus head upstairs, humming softly to himself, I made a silent promise. Never again would I stay quiet when someone diminished him. Never again would I choose false peace over his dignity. Family harmony was important. But protecting my son was more important. Always had been. I just finally figured that out.